Welcome back, zombie hunters, to the world of the undead. In our last Resident Evil Fun Facts videos, we delved into the depths of the first 2002 film, uncovering shocking secrets and mind-blowing behind-the-scenes tidbits. From game references, real filming locations, and to hidden Easter eggs, we left no stone unturned. Today, and based on your requests, we're turning our attention to the action-packed sequel, Resident Evil Apocalypse. So get ready to be amazed as we reveal even more jaw-dropping facts about this action horror film. We'll dive deep into the fun facts, all the way from the terrifying Nemesis to the stunning stunts. You will find that Resident Evil Apocalypse is filled with surprises. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's dive into the world of the undead once again. And before we begin, a usual reminder that this video will contain major spoilers. The suit for Nemesis, the iconic monster from Resident Evil Apocalypse, was a formidable physical challenge for the actor portraying him. Weighing over 60 pounds, around 27 kilograms, it was heavy and cumbersome, making it difficult to move around and perform action sequences. Stuntman Matthew G. Taylor, who was tasked with wearing the suit, could only endure it for brief periods of up to 15 minutes before the intense heat and physical strain became unbearable. This limitation required careful planning and coordination during filming, as the suit's wearer had to be frequently relieved to avoid injury or discomfort. To add to the difficulty, Nemesis also had to wield a machine gun, which weighed approximately 65 pounds, nearly 30 kilograms, with just one arm, and his trademark rocket launcher on the other. This combination of weight and bulk made the character's movements slow and deliberate, emphasizing his immense power and imposing presence. The Nemesis makeup was specifically designed for Matthew G. Taylor. To achieve the desired look, a full body cast was made of Taylor, allowing for a perfectly tailored bodysuit to be molded. This intricate process ensured that no other actor could wear the suit. Milla Jovovich, the lead actress in Resident Evil Apocalypse, was disappointed with the film's direction. She felt that the studio's emphasis on action and explosions overshadowed the development of the story and characters. Jovovich believed that the narrative was sacrificed in favor of spectacle, leaving her wanting a more engaging and thought-provoking experience. Her disappointment highlights the tension that can sometimes arise between creative vision and commercial demands in the film industry. Sienna Guillory, who portrayed Jill Valentine, went to great lengths to prepare for the role. To immerse herself in the character and understand her movements, Guillory purchased a PlayStation 1 console and a copy of the original Resident Evil game. She studied Jill's behavior and mannerisms, paying close attention to her fighting style and overall demeanor. Additionally, Guillory drew inspiration from Jill's movements in the later game Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, further refining her performance and ensuring that her portrayal remained faithful to the iconic character. The zombies in Resident Evil Apocalypse, like their predecessors in the first film, were primarily portrayed by professional dancers. These skilled performers brought a unique level of movement and fluidity to their undead roles. To ensure a consistent and terrifying portrayal of the zombies, the dancers attended an undead boot camp where they were taught specific rules of behavior. Two of the cardinal rules were to avoid dragging their feet and to not outstretch their arms, creating a more menacing and aggressive appearance. This attention to details helped to elevate the zombies' presence on screen and contribute to the film's overall atmosphere of horror and suspense. The trailer for Resident Evil Apocalypse was a viral sensation, attracting a massive online audience. Between November 2003 and May 2004, it was downloaded an impressive 8.5 million times, making it one of the most watched trailers on the internet during that period and generating significant buzz and anticipation for the film's release. Nikolai, a villain in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, is portrayed as a hero in the movie. Mikhail's character, however, is notably absent from the film, and his role is filled by original character Yuri, who shares some similarities with Mikhail. Oded Fehr, who portrayed Carlos Oliveira, is of Israeli nationality and was well experienced in handling firearms and had extensive training in combat techniques due to his time serving in the Israeli army. In the games, however, the character of Carlos is known to be generally from South America, with his surname Oliveira, hinting that he may be from Portuguese origins. The Resident Evil 3 Nemesis manual also states that he carries Indian blood. The role of LJ in Resident Evil Apocalypse was initially intended for rapper and actor Snoop Dogg. According to director Paul W.S. Anderson's commentary on the DVD release, Snoop Dogg was cast for the part but ultimately left the project due to unforeseen personal circumstances. This change in casting led to the role being filled by comedian Mike Epps. To accommodate Epps' improvisational talents, the script underwent line changes to allow for more comedic ad-libs, ensuring a more dynamic and entertaining performance from Epps, who brought his own unique style and comedic flair to the character.
Motherfucker, please, look. My shit is custom.
While not explicitly stated, the events of Resident Evil Apocalypse suggest that the T-virus infection had begun to spread beyond the hive prior to the film's events. As the Red Queen revealed in the first film, the virus is capable of changing form, allowing it to adapt to different environments. It's possible that during the time between the two films, the virus had infiltrated the subterranean areas of Raccoon City, perhaps through the ventilation system. This would explain how the undead managed to rise from the cemetery, indicating that the infection was reaching wider and more dangerous proportions. One of the recurring criticisms aimed at Resident Evil Apocalypse centers on the wardrobe choices of the female characters, particularly Alice, Jill, and Terry. Their revealing attire has been widely criticized as fan service, deemed impractical, and potentially dangerous in a zombie apocalypse. While the game Resident Evil Nemesis offers a plausible explanation for Jill's clothes, citing that she was ambushed by zombies in her apartment, leaving her with no time to change, the movie's portrayal suggests a more deliberate choice. Terry's pencil skirt and blouse can be somewhat justified, as she was planning to evacuate the city and may not have anticipated the zombie outbreak. To address potential criticism, Milla Jovovich suggested incorporating a heat wave in Raccoon City as a justification for the character's revealing clothing. However, filming in November in Toronto presented its own challenges, as the cold weather made it difficult for the actors to maintain a comfortable and convincing appearance. The construction of the church featured in the film was a significant undertaking, requiring 7 weeks to complete. This elaborate set piece served as a central location within the film, providing a striking and imposing backdrop for intense action sequences and dramatic confrontations. The church's construction involved meticulous planning, skilled craftsmanship, and the use of various materials to create a visually impressive and structurally sound structure. The scene where Jill, Alice, Carlos, and LJ are gathered with Angie showcases a subtle nod to the Resident Evil video games. While Alice is speaking on the phone, Jill places her hand on her waist in a gesture reminiscent of the caution status in the games. This visual cue is used to convey the character's health level, with 4 levels ranging from fine, yellow caution, orange caution, to danger. This subtle reference demonstrates the filmmaker's attention to detail and their desire to connect the film to the established lore of the franchise. It also showcases Sienna's dedication to portraying Jill Valentine and the nuances of her character and movements. This movie incorporates elements from both Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, featuring the T-virus outbreak in Raccoon City and the character's struggle for survival from RE2, as well as including the Nemesis monster and Jill Valentine's pursuit by the Umbrella Corporation from RE3. This combination of plot elements allows the film to expand upon the established lore of the Resident Evil franchise while offering a fresh and action-packed experience. To prepare for her physically demanding role, Milla Jovovich underwent a rigorous 3-month training regimen. This intensive training program focused on building strength, endurance, and flexibility, enabling her to perform the intense action sequences and stunts required for the film. Jovovich's dedication to her fitness allowed her to convincingly portray Alice as a capable and formidable protagonist, enhancing her credibility as a survivor in the face of overwhelming odds. The character of Dr. Ashford in Resident Evil Apocalypse shares a name with the Ashford family from the Resident Evil video game series. However, the film's portrayal of Dr. Ashford diverges significantly from his counterparts in the games. While the game versions of the Ashfords are depicted as ruthless villains, the the film's Dr. Ashford is presented as a sympathetic and complex character. This contrast highlights the creative liberties taken in adapting the game's lore for the cinematic medium, allowing for different interpretations and character dynamics. Milla Jovovich, known for her dedication to performing her own stunts, took on the challenging task of completing the final part of the run down Raccoon City Hall herself. Her stunt double handled the initial portion of the sequence, which involved jumping from a height of approximately 200 feet. However, Jovovich insisted on performing the remaining part of the run, showcasing her commitment to physicality and her ability to deliver a more personal and authentic performance. This daring decision further solidified her reputation as a fearless and talented action star. The movie was initially titled Resident Evil Nemesis to align with the third game in the Resident Evil video game series, which shared a similar storyline. However, the decision to change the title came after the release of the 2002 film Star Trek Nemesis, which faced commercial disappointment. To avoid potential confusion and capitalize on the success of the first Resident Evil film, the filmmakers opted to rebrand their sequel as Resident Evil Apocalypse, ensuring a distinct identity and avoiding any association with the underperforming Star Trek film. Paul W.S. Anderson, the director of the first Resident Evil film, was unable to return for the sequel due to his involvement with the production of Alien vs. Predator 2004. This scheduling conflict led to the hiring of Alexander Witt to direct Resident Evil Apocalypse. While Anderson's absence marked a change in the franchise's direction, Witt brought his own vision to the project, contributing to the film's distinctive style and action-packed sequences. Resident Evil Apocalypse features no returning cast, except for Milla Jovovich as the only actor to reprise her role from the first film. The only other appearance of a character from the previous movie is through archive footage featuring Eric Mabius. This movie includes a playful nod to the Grand Theft Auto series. In a scene featuring LJ driving through the zombie-infested streets of Raccoon City, he runs over a zombie and yells,
GTA, motherfucker! 10 points!
This reference to the early Grand Theft Auto games, where players are rewarded points for committing crimes like running over pedestrians, highlights the crossover between popular video game franchises. Interestingly, Capcom, the developer behind the Resident Evil series, also distributes Grand Theft Auto games in Japan, which further emphasizes the connection between these two iconic franchises. This is the only movie in the series that features Alice smoking cigarettes. The actress was actively trying to quit smoking in real life, and was successfully able to quit smoking by 2007. Resident Evil Apocalypse subtly hints at the occurrence of the mansion incident from the original game, despite never explicitly referencing it. Newspaper clippings found in Jill Valentine's apartment do mention that STARS operative Jill Valentine and others are on temporary suspension after a mission in the Arkley Mountains. This suggests that the events of the first game did take place within the film universe, albeit off-screen. This implication explains Jill's extensive knowledge of zombies and the T-virus, as she would have first-hand experience from the mansion incident. While the film does not mention characters like Chris Redfield, Barry Burton, or Albert Wesker, their eventual appearances in later sequels suggest that these events did actually occur, but with a significantly different narrative from the original game. Resident Evil and Resident Evil Apocalypse pay homage to George A. Romero's iconic zombie film, Day of the Dead. A newspaper in both movies features the headline The Dead Walk, which is an exact replica of the headline used in Romero's film. This subtle nod showcases the filmmaker's appreciation for the zombie genre and its pioneers, acknowledging the influence of Romero's work on the Resident Evil franchise. The film originally had plans to include Claire Redfield as a prominent character, with Gina Phillips cast in the role. However, Phillips' departure led to Emily Bergel taking on the part. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts forced Bergel to leave the project as well. Due to the lack of a suitable replacement, the decision was made to eliminate Claire Redfield from Resident Evil Apocalypse. The character would eventually make her debut in Resident Evil Extinction, played by Ollie Larder. Sienna Guillory landed her role in Resident Evil Apocalypse based on her impressive performance in the television movie Helen of Troy. Her portrayal of Helen of Sparta in that film showcased her acting abilities and caught the attention of the Resident Evil producers, who sought a talented actress to join the franchise's growing cast. Guillory's casting further enhanced the film's ensemble, and her portrayal of Jill Valentine contributed hugely to the fan service. And this ends our part 1 of our fun facts about Resident Evil Apocalypse. We've covered some pretty mind-blowing details so far, but there's still so much more to uncover. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into the movie's hidden Easter eggs, behind-the-scenes secrets, and more interesting connections between this movie and the games. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'll never miss a new video. Until then, stay sharp and see you in part 2.